Today I would like to talk about meditation, mindfulness, suffering and happiness. And seeing this, my laptop, means I'll do it in form of an interview and a conversation with Yongey Mingyur Rinpoche. He's a Tibetan teacher and master of the Karma-Kagyü and Nyingma lineage. He was born in Nepal in 1975 as the youngest of a famous Tibetan Buddhist master, Tulku Ogyen Rinpoche. Yongey Mingyur Rinpoche started to learn meditation at the age of 9. Just 2 years later, he began to study at the North Indian Sherab Ling monastery and soon started a traditional 3-year retreat at Sherab Ling. In this retreat, he had to cope with his panic disorder, which he finally overcame by meditating. After that, young in age, he studied the Buddhist academic tradition, including Middle Way philosophy and Buddhist logic, and became abbot of Sherab Ling, being fully ordained at 23. Besides having written several very clear and best-selling books, Mingyur Rinpoche built the Tergar Monastery in Bodh Gaya, India, which serves as an international study institute for the Sangha and for laity, including academic and spiritual studies. One other important fact to notice is that His Holiness, the Dalai Lama, asked Mingyur Rinpoche to take part in several magnetic resonance imaging or MRI studies, which help to uncover some of the processes and principles that neurologically underlie deep meditation. The well-known neuroscientist Richard Davidson just published a new paper analyzing only Mingyur Rinpoche's brain, trying to estimate its brain age. The result was that at 41 years, his brain resembled that of a 33-year-old. In 2011, Mingyur Rinpoche left his monastery in Bodh Gaya in the middle of the night without any ahead notice and spent 4 years as a wandering yogi. The book he wrote about this most transformative experience of his life has the title In Love with the World, A Monk's Journey Through the Bardos of Living and Dying, or in German, Auf dem Weg, eine Reise zum wahren Sinn des Lebens. Mingyur Rinpoche teaches worldwide and leads various Tergar meditation centers and meditation groups. Our conversation took place via internet on August 7th, 2020. Yongey Mingyur Rinpoche, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
There is a huge boom for decades now of Buddhism and different forms of meditation in the West. What do you think is the causes or are the causes of this boom?
Yeah, I think the Buddha's teaching is like timeless. So when Buddha was in India 2,500 years before, what Buddha taught is there is suffering, and we need to know the causes of suffering, and there is the freedom, which is we can free the suffering, and there's a path. And within that path, there's a various teachings how to work with our own mind. So to free the root of suffering. So I think nowadays around the world, especially in the modern time, what we call there's a monkey mind. So we all have lot of bala 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 yada yada, and our mind has become very sensitive. So I think these teachings are very relevant for everybody, and whether you are become Buddhist or not, it doesn't matter. So Buddha said some of these teachings are for everybody.
Do you think that in Western societies, and maybe even in Latin America and Africa, they have to find their own way, which might be different from, say, the Tibetan way or the Japanese or Chinese Chan way? Do you think they have to find their own form?
I think so. What Buddha said, the essence of Dharma, no need to change. It is awareness, love and compassion, and wisdom. These three, the essence of Dharma. But the format, the culture, mentality should change, Buddha said, according to the the mentality of people, personality of people, culture. So need to present that way and practice your own way. So normally what we call, there are different temperament or different personalities. Like there's a 3 type of personality, 5 different type personality. For example, 3 type personality meaning a body personality. Normally we use a lot of image, shape, color. So what I call video is important, video. Seeing things. And the speech personality is a lot of articulation, words, what I call audio. And the mind personality is feeling, sensation, intuition. So based on these personality, teaching also need to kind of like translate that way.
When you think of living in a monastery or practicing special forms of Tibetan Buddhism, is it difficult to rid yourself or to get free of the cultural forms? Because I know that you and His Holiness as well, they talk about secular meditation, which is not bound to religion or to a specific culture.
Yeah, so in Tibetan Buddhism, we have different style of lineage, almost different style of practice, what we call scholar style and experiential style, hermitage style, the monastic style, grandpa, grandma style, pit instruction style. So there's many styles. So normally I choose which style is relevant here in the modern life. So normally what I teach is experiential style combined with grandpa, grandma style.
Yeah. What do you think about the combination of the cultivation of being or awareness or taming the monkey mind, as you said, in connection to what the West has done, which is cultivating institutions and cultivating the division of political power? Do you think that will be a combination in the future?
I think the world is changing a lot. So in Buddhism, what we talk about the matter aspect, feeling aspect, concept aspect, and then the habitual pattern aspect. So when we look at the entire kind of like human history, at the beginning more like matter, what we call form aspect, that people are really focused on the just basic development. Then after that, the feeling aspect, people are follow the heart. And now is the conceptual aspect. So there's a lot of conceptual, lot of divisions, lot of monkey mind, bala bala bala, yada yada. So then, so I think in the future, what we call with the conceptual development, there's a lot of suffering, lot of kind of like negative side there, but at the same time, there's a lot of wisdom there. When the concept comes, at the same time, wisdom also comes. So I think it's really important right now. Our generation is, I think, really important now. So how it will become the future.
Part of that future has been the scientific study of meditation and mindfulness. And you took part in many of these studies. And Richard Davidson, I think, just published a new paper with you as the sole person being analyzed and finding out that your brain is younger than your biological age. Did that kind of research change your perception of what meditation is, or how you yourself do meditation?
When I went to this laboratory and having a lot of discussion with the neuroscientists, and right now they believe like there's a lot of neuroplasticity, meaning you have capable of change. I think 20 years before, a neuroscientist doesn't believe that your brain can change.
Right.
So now it's totally different. And not only that, there's a neural pathways, neurogenesis, so many things that is kind of like similar what we believe in Buddhism. And from the modern science, kind of like from different aspect. So to see this, to learn from the modern science is fascinating. So for me, although I know this before, but when I learn from different aspect, very happy.
In the West, still, if you have a problem, usually people tend to look for a solution either in therapy or in political activities and changes. What do you think is the difference between the political transformation, the psychological transformation, and the way of meditation?
I think what Buddha said is, if we transform our own mind first, this is really important. So then the real transformation comes kind of like effortless. So if you want to change the world and you don't want to change yourself, then the world become chaotic,
Yeah.
But if we change ourselves and everybody try to change ourselves, then the world become peaceful.
How do you do that? How do you get a feeling or an understanding of your monkey mind and taming it?
I think the really important is we have to know the secret of mind. This is the traditional wisdom. Normally what we call, don't tame the mind, free the mind, liberate the mind. So normally our habit is we try to block something, we try to get rid of something, we try to suppress something. Is what we call aversion. If you do that, it doesn't work. Mm-hmm. Like if you say, don't think about pizza, don't think about pizza, what happened? We think about pizza.
Sure.
And that is not only with the pizza. Everything in your life, your job, your relationship, your personal life, everything, when you try to push away, get worse.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the other side. When you look for something and you're too tight, then also it's not easy to get. So when you go to the exam, you prepare all these exam preparations. Soon as if you enter the exam hall, half forget.
Yeah, I know that.
I need to remember. All this meditation techniques is to discover who you are. Mm-hmm. You don't need to get rid of anything with you. You don't need to create anything new with you. Actually, you don't need to change. When you know you don't need to change, then you change already.
That's probably the most fundamental paradox. Don't push, don't pull. That seems to be very easy, neither to cling nor to reject. On the other hand, nothing is more difficult, obviously.
We all have this wonderful nature within us, what we call the awareness, love and compassion, wisdom, skills, mm-hmm. potential, capacity. So these are with us all the time. So all this meditation technique is try to discover it. Mm-hmm. So the one is already there with you. If you don't have this within you, then you need to create or you need to get rid of something. Mm-hmm. Of course, you have to do that. But actually, it's just there within you. Too close, we don't see. Too easy, we don't believe.
So is that really the paradox of effortless meditation or non-meditation? That there's really nothing to gain, nothing to look for, because everything is already here?
I learned meditation from my father when I was 9 years old. I had panic attacks, so I really want to fight with this panic. And then I learned meditation from my father. And my father said, don't fight with the panic. Welcome panic. Just be with the awareness, love and compassion already there. And my father said, you have this wonderful nature. And I don't believe at the beginning. I thought, it's just like my father giving me encouragement, doing father's job.
Yeah.
But my father said, make friends with the panic. So normally when you try to push, panic become our enemy. Mm-hmm. When you grasp and say yes, sir, to the panic become bad boss, We are become slave of panic. So now third option is make friends with the panic. So actually, for me, I use my panic as support for my awareness, support for love and compassion, support for wisdom. So these are the secret of teaching of the meditation. So, but I was lazy, lazy boy. I learned meditation when I was 9, 10, 11, 12, until 13, on and off. So when I was 13, I was in the retreat, very serious meditation retreat. I really want to join in the retreat for a long time, for 3 years actually. And first month, panic became worse. Then I really apply my meditation technique to welcome panic. So what I see is the panic of panic is stronger than panic, actually. The aversion of panic. Try to resist of panic. When I welcome the panic, panic loses power. But still the symptoms there, tight my neck, I'm having headache, and my heart is speeding up. I feel like I'm inside the aeroplane, an aeroplane passing through turbulence, But I don't mind. Different level. I rest with awareness. So in the end, panic become my friend and my teacher. Normally what I said, panic become one of my best friend.
What is with the other friends? Like, I want to have a big house, I want to have a successful job. In short, I want to be happy. So that's something I crave for. Should I make friends with that as well?
There is what we call the short-term happiness, meaning like drink coffee, good for 20 minutes. You will be quite happy. But after 20 minutes, you go down. But what we are talking about is the lasting happiness. The lasting happiness is something comes within yourself and no need depend on the outside circumstances. So that is we can develop through the meditation.
Well, most people think that their inner, call it true being or inner nature, is not strong enough really to not depend on the circumstances.
Yeah. So I think our inner goodness, our what we call basic innate goodness are always present, always there. The problem is we don't see that. So normally what we call, if we have 10 qualities and 9 of them are positive, 1 negative, normally what we see is only negative one. And we exaggerate that negative. And we deny 9 positive things within us. So sometimes what we call making mountain out of molehill, Like,
Yeah.
Can I tell you a story?
Sure.
One time a couple came to me and they said they two are fighting every day. The husband want to control everything and why worry about everything? And they both asked me, please, blessing, give me blessing. And they both expecting that I give some power and suddenly miracle happen and they will not fight anymore. I told them, I cannot do that. I don't have that power. And they are a little bit sad. And they said, anything from you is okay. Please help us. So then I told them, I will give you a homework. So the homework is every day, make half hour time and talk about positive thing within each other. So the quality, whatever that you can see within each other. They say, okay. And they went, they're gone. And after 3 weeks later, they come back and they said, half hour is too long. And I told them, I will give you discount. So forget about half hour, 5 minutes, okay. And they both are very happy. And then they're gone. And I haven't met them for 1 year. And after 1 year later, both of them came and they said, now half hour is not enough. So I was surprised. What happened? They said it transformed their life by recognizing these good things within each other.
Yeah.
Actually, they have love, they care, all these are there. But of course, at the same time, they both have some kind of personality. Personality not easy to change. The husband want to control, wife worry about everything, and they accept it. And they give each other nickname. The husband's name is control freak, and the wife's name is worry freak. And they make humor about it. So when the husband go out, come back to home, he knocked the door, and he said, the most powerful person in the world is coming. And then wife said, the most worriest person welcomes you. So
Humor,
life become, yes.
Humor, I think, is always an important, step to transformation, if you're able to. Now, people think, obviously, you were in many retreats, starting from when you were a young boy. So you're very experienced. You were scientifically analyzed, and then you left the monastery, and with telling no one, and you made a whole different kind of experience. Why did you have to do that?
I'm not recommend that for everybody should do that, but nevertheless, in our life, we have plenty of problems, obstacles, sufferings. And these are precious, actually. We can learn from problems. We can grow from problems. Like in the modern society, when you become 18 years old, you have to live by yourself, right? It's like kind of wandering practice. And then we have problem in the relationship. We have problem at work. We have problem with right now we are having problem of this virus. So these are, if we have something that we can work with it, love and compassion, awareness, wisdom, and these problems can be support for our inner path.
Now, your way was very hard in a way, and that's true for all people really who suffer. It's very hard for them to develop inner wisdom in that situation because suffering is so overwhelming. Negative feelings are so overwhelming. And you said that you discovered the gaps, the in-betweens. Can you explain what you mean by that?
Yeah. So normally we all have this basic innate goodness. So what we call thought, emotion, feeling. So suffering is feeling, sensation, is idea. So all these there's a concept, there's a memory, there's a perception. So all these are what we call like cloud in the sky. And what is the sky? Awareness, love and compassion, wisdom. So these are the fundamental quality of your own mind. And within that, there's thought, the memory, all these things comes, goes. Panic is like storm, maybe a hurricane or tornado. But normally what happens is we are lost in the cloud. We only see cloud. We don't see sky. So all this meditation technique is to stay with the sky and not lost in the cloud. But we don't need to change cloud because the sky is free from cloud. Cloud cannot change sky. No matter how much storm comes, the biggest storm in the world comes, it doesn't change the nature of sky. So what we call sky is always free, present. But of course, at the beginning, when we practice meditation, not so easy to practice like that. So therefore, at the beginning, we do just a little bit, step by step. We cannot transform big problem, big suffering, big emotion at the beginning. So we have to try something small one first. We meditate. We make friends with a small emotion, small suffering, and gradually, slowly. So we have to make fire with a very, good condition, safe place at the beginning. Slowly, big wind, big wood is okay.
How can you experience that the sky is not just another illusion, it's not something you make up, but something which is as reality, really there?
So the really important this practice is you don't have to do anything. When we try to do, when we try to create, when you try to something idea, then it might be illusion. So all this purpose of practice is just being with your fundamental quality. Live your mind as it is. Then slowly, it's just there. So it's there, but it's not visible at the beginning. What we call the bird fly in the sky without knowing sky. Fish always swim in the water without knowing water. So at the beginning it's like that. But then when you try again, and it's just there.
It's the different type of perception, the two ways to perceive reality. Is that difference that you sort of take yourself out of the picture, that you're not there anymore, in a way?
What we call, there's three sense of self. Unhealthy sense of self, healthy sense of self, and the luminous self. So there are three sense of self. The unhealthy sense of self may dissolve, but then healthy sense of self and luminous self will not disappear.
If you experience that, and in your book you I think explain in words very well, which can't really explain in words that well. When you experience that oneness of reality, do you think compassion or some form of ethics follow naturally from that?
Yeah, of course. So the when we see this basic innate goodness, not only with you, with others, with everybody. So everybody has this wonderful nature. So then really develop love and compassion. So there's sense of sweetness, sense of lovable. Otherwise, the compassion is become like pity, you know. It may not become that. The real love and compassion will come.
So are you positively looking at the transformations which we have to undergo in the future? Climate change, wars still going on, there's hunger in a lot of places, social disparity. You think we will manage?
We don't know the future. What we call future is unpredictable. So it's impermanent. It's like wave of the ocean. Who knows future? But the future is depend on now. I think the really important is the present. We all try our best to connect with awareness, love, and compassion and wisdom. So in one way, yes, there's look like a lot of bad things happening around the world. In another way, there's a lot of good things happening. So recently I heard the scientific research, what they say is that this moment is the lowest, the most peaceful time in the entire human history. So in the past, there's a lot of fighting and people don't like just shoot gun, you know. So now all this become better, less violence. And there's a lot of things, good things are happening around the world. So I think really important, we need to look at the positive aspect and try to recognize that, try to connect with that, try to improve the awareness, love, and compassion. I think this is really important.
Well, thank you very much for the conversation.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you.